Hi everyone, Sharanu Sharanarthigalu. So welcome to Sri Basava Public School, Ilkal. So now here we have started that the new chapter in the physics, that is gravitation. In this chapter we have discussed that more points in the previous class. Those are the mass, weight of an object on the moon, thrust and pressure. But today we are discussing points are pressure in fluids, buoyancy, Archimedes principle. All these points today we will discuss one by one. Okay, are you ready for listening to this point? Okay, here we are watching the first point of this class, that is pressure in fluids. You know that here pressure means the thrust on unit area is called pressure. The formula pressure is equal to thrust divided by area, and SI unit of the pressure is, you know, yes, that is we are saying that Newton per meter square. It is also measuring in the honor of scientist Blaise Pascal. The SI unit of pressure is called Pascal. It is denoted by symbol Pa. Okay, this point we have already discussed in the previous class. So today we are discussing detail about the pressure in fluids. Any solid object exerts pressure. Any solid object exerts pressure because of weight. So you know that here, did you know here solid objects are having their weight. Due to their weight, these things are exert pressure. So it is very common and we already learned. Similarly, since fluids means what here? It is a mixture of liquid and gas, or it is a mixture of liquid and air. Is it correct? Okay. Similarly, since fluid have weight, thus they exert pressure. So fluids also having their weight. Due to their weight, it is exerting the pressure. So gas and liquid both are considered as fluids. Just I told here. So fluid exert pressure in all direction over the inner walls of a container in which they are kept. For example, take here plastic bottle, fill with the water and close their mouth by the by the cap, and next you can keep one aside, make it a hole one by one here. So you can make hole at the top of the bottle, observe their pressure, water pressure, and now you can make it a small hole in the middle part of the bottle, observe their pressure, and next you can make the hole at the bottom of the bottle. Yes, so next you observe that pressure. So we can consider by this activity fluid exert pressure in all direction, or water exert pressure in all direction over the inner walls of a bottle. Have you understood? Okay, fine. So now we are discuss very important aspect, that is buoyancy. So buoyancy is the upward force exerted by fluids. So this force is exerted by the fluid over the surface or of contact of an object. If the object is contact with the fluid, so that object can be flow, otherwise it can be sink, isn't it? It can be float, otherwise it will be sink. So this is, we can say that buoyancy. So, which is immersed in the fluid? Buoyancy is also known as upward thrust. Buoyancy is also known as upward thrust. So, why does an object sink or float over water? So, this is a very important and very thinking question, isn't it? Why the objects are floating if we can drop in the water, and if the object is why they are sinking in the water? So, this question too we will find answer. When an object is immersed in water, correct, it exerts pressure over water due to its weight. So, object exert pressure over water due to its weight. At the same time, water also exerts upward thrust. At the same time also, the water is exerting the upward thrust over the object. Here, that force is or the pressure is takes place between the object and water. If the force exerted by the object is greater than the upward thrust or buoyancy by water, the object sinks in water, otherwise it floats over the water. So, depending upon weight of the object, so it can be sink or it can be float over the water. So, now have you understood here? So, buoyancy means what here? Another name, upward thrust. Clear. Next point. So, buoyancy in everyday life. Okay. So, we are study along with the illustration examples. So, swimming in water, anyone can be able to swim in water because of upward thrust exerted by water. So, you are swimming in water or in a swimming pool. So, that force is or that upward thrust is exerted by the water. Okay, clear? It is very simple example. So, next here, flying of birds or aeroplane. Since air is a fluid, thus it also exerts upward thrust over the object. Over the object means here aeroplane and flying of bird. So, therefore, because of upward thrust of air, a bird or aeroplane can fly in air. So, buoyancy means upward thrust. So, what are the factors which affects buoyancy? Those are the two are there: volume of the object, density of the fluid. First one is volume of the object. Buoyancy or upward thrust exerted by a fluid increases with the volume of the object immersed in it. So, volume of the object means here upward thrust exerted by a fluid. If the volume can be increased with the object, it can be immersed in it. So, density of the fluid, the buoyant force or upward thrust increases with increase in density of the fluid. So, denser liquid exert more upward thrust. So, here we have stated this is the cause that it is easier to swim in sea water rather than the fresh water. So, very interesting here, because we can easily swim in sea water rather than the fresh water. Why? Because sea water is saline. Salts dissolved in sea water increases the density, and hence it exerts more upward thrust than the fresh water. So, in the sea water we are swimming very easily rather than the fresh water. So, because of salts dissolved in the sea water, then automatically increasing the density of the water, and hence it exert more upward thrust than the fresh water. In the fresh water less quantity of the salts dissolved, and more and lastly all the water is reaching in the sea water only, then the sea water is become that saline and more salt dissolved in the sea water. So for that here the density is increase. Okay, understood? These are the two important examples of buoyancy in everyday life. Now we will discuss density. Is it mass per unit volume? Mass per unit volume of an object is called density or m by v or mass density. So density is denoted by Greek letter that is called rho. Therefore density is equal to mass by volume. In symbolically we can say rho is equal to m by v. The SI unit of density, yes, mass is measuring in kg and the SI unit of volume is measuring in cubic meter. Therefore by substituting the unit of mass and volume in the expression of density we get, that is P is equal to kg by cubic meter. Therefore the SI unit of density rho is kg per cubic meter. Okay, is it clear? Okay, what do you mean by density here? Mass per unit volume of an object is called density or mass density, otherwise density is equal to mass by volume. So clear my dear students, are you learning slowly? Okay. Now we can discuss relative density. So relative density means here there are two types of the relation we are taken here, density of water and comparison of water. For convenience, the density of water is expressed in comparison of water. Thus, when density of a substance is expressed in comparison with water, it is called relative density. So between these two, density of water and comparison of water, so we are saying that relative density. How we can see here? Therefore, relative density is equal to density of a substance divided by density of water. So here relative density has no unit because it is the ratio of similar quantity, practical application of density. Water is taken as a reference material because it is easily available at most of the places and it is easy to carry out the measurement related to the density in field visit. So it is very common, isn't it? When the relative density of a substance is less than, it will float in water, otherwise it will sink in water. So depending upon density of a substance. For example, we will see here, so when ice cube drop in the water or put in the water, the ice can be float and water is the as it is. So what is the meaning of this one? So here we are saying that the ice density is less than the density of the water. So here ice can float very easily. Now have you understood clearly? Fine. Now we are discussing very important point, that is Archimedes principle. Archimedes principle states that when an object is immersed fully or partially in a liquid, it experiences an upward force which is equal to the weight of liquid displaced by the object. So when you hanging the stone, so immersed in the water containing bucket, so partially otherwise fully immersed, so we can see that we can feel that upward force exerted by the fluid or water. Have you felt like this feeling? So yes, okay. Now we discuss application of Archimedes principle. When the weight of displaced liquid by an object is greater than the weight of object, the object will float in liquid, and when the weight of liquid will be smaller than that of the weight of the object will sink in liquid. So this is the application of Archimedes principle. So now we are discussing first point here in submarine, afterward air balloons, next ships. In submarines there is a tank which can be filled or emptied as per requirement. It is called buoyancy tank. Buoyancy means upward thrust. When submarines have to go inside the water, the buoyancy tank is filled with water, so that the weight of the submarines would become more than the weight of water displaced by it. And when submarines have to come over the surface of water, the buoyancy tank is emptied and water is replaced by air. In this condition, the weight of water displaced by submarines will become more than the weight of submarines, and submarines come over the surface of water. So you have seen in the geographic channel how that submarine work in the sea water or in ocean. Is it clear? Okay. Next we will discuss here air balloons. Have you seen flying of balloons in the air in fair, in festival? Okay, they are rises in air. Now we will discuss. To raise the air balloon in air, the air inside the balloon is heated. See here, the raise the balloon in air, the air inside the balloon is heated. Air expands because of heat and becomes lighter. Thus the balloon gets an upward thrust from the surrounding air and rises up. So nowadays in TV the thumbs up advertise will show. Is it? So when that person is jumping on the air balloon, so have you observed that the heat air is rises upside in the balloon, and that air inside the balloon is become lighter and lighter. So then the balloon gets upward thrust from the surrounding air and rises up. So have you seen air balloons? Okay. Next ships. A ship is much heavier than water, yet it floats on water, even though it floats on water. This is a very confusing point for you. So how much heavy of that ship, even though it can be float? Why? This happens because of unique shape of the ship. They can make into unique shape like a spindle shape. Because of its shape, the volume of the ship is larger compared to its weight. Compared to their weight, here the volume of the ship is larger at the bottom. Due to this, water displaced by the ship provides a proper upward thrust to the ship, and the ship floats on water. See, they are made that a unique shape of the ship, and the volume of the ship is larger compared to its weight. Then water displaced by the ship providing a proper upward thrust to the ship, and it can be float on the water and displacing and moving to one place to the another place. So have you is it clear these all points? Okay, understood? Okay, so I think you understood all the points what we have discussed today. So thank you my dear students. Sharanu Sharanarthigalu. Do well.